everyone, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video about Olaplex. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what Olaplex is, kind of a background about it, and an illustration about how to do the at-home Olaplex treatment, which is the take-home. So first getting into about Olaplex. So a lot of clients and people kind of always ask me what is Olaplex? What is that, So basically Olaplex is a bond builder, which means that it multiplies the bonds that are in your hair. So disulfide bonds are what hold your hair together. So basically when those start to break, your hair starts to break and it can break off, and that can be caused by over coloring the hair, over highlighting the hair becomes over processed, and then also your everyday things that you do to your hair can cause this to happen. So other examples of how the bonds are broken in your hair would be when you're brushing your hair when it's wet, it's in its most fragile state. So when you're brushing your hair really rough, when the hair is wet, that can break down the bonds in your hair. Heat damage can break down the bonds. Flat ironing, blow drying break down the bonds in the hair. So anytime that you're manipulating the hair in any kind of way, that can also break down the bonds in the hair. So that's where Olaplex comes in. Olaplex is not an end-all be-all to solve all of your damage problems, but it can help to protect your hair. So it can be used as a preventative measure in the salon, and it can be used as a take-home care system.
The Olaplex #1 is what goes inside your lightener or your color at the salon. So this is the #1, if you're not familiar with it. So this is used inside the chemical service as a protective measure. And then once we do the highlights or the lightening or color service, that is rinsed out after the foils are pulled, and then we do the step 2 in the salon. So, once the toner is applied, we rinse the toner a little bit, and then we apply the #2 onto the hair. And this is the follow-up application. So the #2 is basically a follow-up. It's after shampooing the lightener from the hair. So once we rinse that color, we apply the #2, and they work together. So #1 and #2 work together as a pair. So without following up with the #2, the #1 is not going to work the same. They're meant to interact with each other to create the bond. So 1 and then 2. #1 is what goes inside your lightener or your color at the salon. So this is the #1, if you're not familiar with it. So this is used inside the chemical service as a protective measure. And then once we do the highlights or the lightening or color service, that is rinsed out after the foils are pulled, and then we do the step 2 in the salon. So, once the toner is applied, we rinse the toner a little bit, and then we apply the #2 onto the hair. And this is the follow-up application. So the #2 is basically a follow-up. It's after shampooing the lightener from the hair. So once we rinse that color, we apply the #2, and they work together. So #1 and #2 work together as a pair. So without, following up with the #2, the #1 is not going to work the same. They're meant to interact with each other to create the bond. So 1 and then 2.
So #0, this is a take-home product, and this is a primer for the #3. So let me first explain what the #3 is. So the #3, this is basically the follow-up. So basically this is the #2, but basically it's a take-home. So it can be used separately. So you can use this by itself. I'm going to be showing you how to use the #0 at home, how to apply it, and how to apply the 3. So I'm going to show you how to use this and this to get the most out of it.
Okay, so now that I explained the basics, 1 and 2 are the steps that are used in the salon, and then #0 and 3 are the take-home treatments. So right now I'm about to show you how to use the #0 and the #3. The #3 is basically a less strong version of the #2 because it's a take-home version. and they created the number 0 as a primer for the hair to help accept the number 3 better onto the hair to help it work better. So basically, that's kind of what I'm talking about in this clip, and I'm just going to show you how to apply the at-home treatment. Now, in my opinion, in my professional opinion, I think it is better to do the at-home Olaplex treatment with clean hair. So I did a clarifying shampoo the day before, and I just washed it and I let it air dry the night before, and now this is the morning of doing the treatment. So if you have a lot of buildup in the hair and you have a lot of gunk like hairspray, dry shampoo, any other products in there, it's going to make the Olaplex to not work as well. And since you're spending a lot of money on these products, you want to get the most use out of it, and you want to make sure the Olaplex is absorbing into the hair. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth it. So nowhere on the packaging does it say start with clean hair, but I recommend it's best to start with clean hair. So starting with clean dry hair, and I've already detangled my hair, and now I'm starting with the first section. I have sprayed the number 0 primer into the first section, and you want to make sure that you're saturating the hair with this. And you're making sure that you're getting it on there, and I comb each section through. You want to make sure that the hair looks wet at the end. I probably didn't use enough, but you also want to make sure that you're not overusing the product as well, because this bottle, you're probably only going to get like 3 or 4 applications out of it, and it's pretty pricey, especially if you're not a professional, because professionals can get these products for a little bit cheaper, but the general market is going to be paying a little bit more. So yeah, basically it's pretty simple. I am just going to go ahead and spray it on each section there. And they say to put it root to tip. Wherever you have the most damage, you probably want to focus it there. And I know there's been I've seen different people debating upon, no, don't wash your hair before you do the treatment, because it says to shampoo after. If your hair is full of gunk and buildup and you go apply this treatment, it's not going to work as well, because all of that hairspray and dry shampoo is just going to not let the Olaplex to absorb. So I've seen a lot of comments about that on the internet where people are like, don't shampoo your hair because you're just going to shampoo it, after. Well, yeah, you do one shampoo to get all of the crap out of your hair, let it air dry it with a blow dryer, then do your treatment. And then I got it in my eyes. Oh my God. And then you want to shampoo this out, obviously. So you can shampoo before the treatment and you can shampoo after. There's no problem with that. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I was seeing comments about that in other videos, and I'm like, let me just clear that up. And yeah, I'm just continuing to spray this on there and brush it through. Okay, so now finishing up applying the number 0. I'm starting with the next section here. And now I'm done. So you see how the hair looks wet? This is how you want your hair to look. You want it to look wet and greasy, basically. And now what's going to happen is you're going to leave this number 0 on for 10 minutes before applying the next step, which is the number 3. So you're going to go ahead and comb it through, brush it through, leave the 0 on for 10 minutes, okay? Okay, so now that I have left the number 0 primer on for 10 minutes to prep the hair for the number 3, I'm going to section the hair yet again, and I'm going to now take the Olaplex number 3, and I'm going to start applying this into the hair. The directions say to apply from root to tip, so you're just going to go ahead and you're just going to go in and apply it in there. Wherever you have the most damage, you want to make sure you're focusing there. And I think that's what I was talking about in this clip here. So when you have highlights, a lot of damage starts to occur in the hairline because it's most fragile. So when the hair is lightened like that, you want to just make sure, especially if you have a lot of highlights around your hairline, which I do. And that's how I keep my hair healthy, because I highlight my hair. It grows pretty fast, and I do trim it pretty often, but it grows pretty fast, my roots. So I'm highlighting, pretty often. And the Olaplex really keeps my hair like healthy in between lightening services. So I really, I like doing these treatments. They really help. So yeah, so I'm just applying the number 3 root to tip all over, and then we're going to let that sit for another 10 minutes. So I'm going to fast forward the rest.
The minimum is 10 minutes for the 0 and 10 minutes for the 3, combination of 20 minutes. And you can choose to leave that on a little bit longer if you want. So that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna show you like the before and then the after of my hair, before and after doing the treatment. So yeah.
Okay, so now I left it on for the minimum amount of time. So now I'm going to be shampooing. So I'm showing you the shampoos I'm using. The Olaplex has a number 4 and 5 shampoo and conditioner, but I do not own those. But the Olaplex works best when you use their shampoo and conditioner. But I'm just going to be using a Matrix Purple shampoo, and I'm going to be using a Malibu conditioner. And then once I shampoo and condition, I'm using the number 6 Bond Smoother. This is the follow-up leave-in. This is like a blow dry balm, and it has the bonds in this product to help keep the Olaplex in your hair. So it's basically like a anti-frizz. It's like a blow dry balm, but basically like Olaplex's version of it. So I really like that one. And you can mix the number 6 and the number 7 together. And the number 7 is an oil, and I'm going to show you that. This is the number 7. So it comes in a little bottle. It is the bonding oil. So you can mix the number 6 and 7 together, or you can just apply it separately, which is what I'm doing here. Usually I don't use a lot because it makes my hair really oily. If you have like oily hair, just don't really put it too close to the roots there. Sometimes I don't even use it because it makes my hair really oily, but yeah. And this is the final results. Okay, so this is after blow drying. As you can see the results, my hair is a lot more shiny. It's a lot more full. I'm sure if I left it on longer, it'd be even better. But yeah, it works pretty well, and you can see it's got that shine. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I explained everything really well, and I'll see you guys soon.